Some vocabulary needed to know for this lesson. Area. Area is a two-dimensional measurement of how many square units it takes to cover a surface without overlapping or gaps. Parallelogram. A parallelogram has opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, and opposite angles are congruent. Rectangle. A rectangle has opposite sides that are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, because all angles on a rectangle are right angles. Therefore, a rectangle is a type of parallelogram. By knowing this information, when trying to find the area of a parallelogram, we can simply decompose the parallelogram to compose a rectangle. Then use the formula for both parallelogram and rectangles. Area equals base times height. Using the information just given, let's find the area of this parallelogram. Step 1. The first step in finding the area of a parallelogram through a rectangle is to decompose the parallelogram in order to compose a rectangle. As you see here, we have our original parallelogram. We decompose by using our base and our height. We're going to decompose the height, and we're going to add it to this side of our parallelogram, making this now our height and this our base. So as you can see, we went from our parallelogram and we formed a rectangle. Step 2. Use the formula area equals base times height to determine the area. As we can see here, one side of the block equals 1 centimeter. So using our formula area equals base times height, we can determine the area of this whole rectangle. Now let's look at our base. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can put 6 centimeters in for our base, and our height is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 centimeters. Now we can multiply them. 6 times 4 is 24. However, we're multiplying a one-dimensional object by another one-dimensional object. So we have a two-dimensional object. So it's going to be 24 square centimeters. Therefore, it takes 24 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter squares to cover the area of this parallelogram. When determining area, the answer must be in square units. This is because when finding the area, you are multiplying a one dimension by another one dimension, equaling a two-dimensional shape. Your turn. Pause the video and find the area of this parallelogram. Doing the same steps that we learned, we have our base and our height of our parallelogram. We're going to decompose this chunk and add it to this side, forming a rectangle. Now this parallelogram and this rectangle, they're going to have the same area. So we can simply do the formula, area equals base times height. By looking at our key, one side of the square equals 1 centimeter. So our base is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 centimeters. And our height is 1, 2. So 2 centimeters. Now remember, we are multiplying a one dimension by another one dimension, giving us a two-dimensional object. So 4 times 2 is 8 squared centimeters. Therefore, it takes 8 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter squares to cover this entire area of the rectangle without overlapping or gaps.